What's up, all you good for the fly guys? You know who it is. Then again, maybe you don't, because it has been a minute. And for all you people who have been rocking with me and who have been asking when I was going to be back, I'm here. I'm granting that request. And for all you guys who may not know who I am your good for the fly guy, your resident cat in the hat, or cap, or beret sometimes. Your chief architect, Michael Andrew of StyleArchitects.com, here to help you dress for success and tell your stories through style. Now, if you have been rocking with me for a little while, then you know that I've been going through my own evolution, my own transition in trying to understand really what I wanted to project and what I wanted to give to you guys on a weekly basis. And for the last 2 years, I've been wrestling with this. And so I wanted to make sure I gave you at least a brief backstory of where I've been and what happened. And then also what you can expect from this same element with a new perspective. And so the first thing that I wanted to tell you is where I've been. So for you guys who have been following me on social media at Style Architects, on IG primarily, then you know that I still was doing videos, but it was on IG specifically, simply because if you have done any YouTubing, you know this is a mother. This is super intense as far as the editing and making sure that we are maintaining a certain level of engagement with you guys. And so because of that, I decided to take a step away. Not only that, I was living with the roommate. Was trash, and that just wasn't working, and it wasn't allowing for me to be in a space where I could really adequately provide qualitative content for you guys. But the main reason why I was not here was because I was working on my book, Dress for Success, which is right here. You can check it out. It's a great read, and actually that is leading me into what has happened here on this platform. So what has essentially happened is I've begun to focus a lot of my attention on stories, on storytelling, on all aspects of who we are. Because if you know me, then you know that I believe that every man has a story, that story soon becomes history or his story, and it all begins with our statement and style. But it doesn't end there. When we start writing out our narrative, we start thinking about different types of ways that we're going to put a look together when we step out. But it doesn't end there. If you think about it, every day that you hop on IG and you take that selfie, or you have somebody take that picture of the outfit of the day, you are creating a page, because a picture, we have often heard, is worth 1,000 words, right? And if we were to write that out, that would essentially be a page. So every day you're authoring your own page. But is it you that's authoring it? Is it society? Or is it a personal expression of who you are? Now, if it's not, then you are allowing somebody else to author your own perspective. You're allowing them to infiltrate your own identity, to lay siege to your personal style, instead of you being able to fully project who you are. And that then will affect the types of young ladies that you're going after, the types of positions that you're going after in the world, and then also even some of the social situations that you find yourself in. And so then you end up finding yourself living a life that is not truly yours, or indicative or reflective, or the type of person that you want to be. And I want to break you guys away from that, because once you start creating these consistent statements, even if they're somebody else's, then you end up being in a space where you are no longer writing your story. You are now allowing other people to speak your narrative, to create a narrative and settings for you, to create co-characters that may not actually be in the best interest of your hero story. And listen, every dude wants to be a hero. Everybody wants to be the sex symbol. Everybody wants to make sure that they are the protagonist of their narrative, of their story. And so I want to make sure that you are outlining your story, structuring it in a great way, not only for your style, but also for your life. And if you can start doing that, then these chapters that we're now creating can be built upon. It can create consistency, focus, and it can create something that is worth engaging with. See, a good story doesn't just leave you as a viewer, as a voyeur, right? The good stories envelop you into that narrative, envelop you into that scene. And so you want to interact with it, you want to engage with it, you want to connect with it. And that's ultimately what every character wants to do. So that's what we'll be focusing on now on this channel. And we really will be looking at the style that is speaking so that we can ultimately look at the style that stories are telling. I want to make sure that we understand how to do that in several different ways. So if you have been rocking with me, you do know that I have always focused on the consciousness, on your brain and how you're processing information, but also it's been about your character. So I want to focus on the consciousness of who you are before you put on any clothes, who you are once you are putting those clothes on, and the roles that you have to play in different types of scenarios, and then ultimately the different types of characteristics, both from a personality standpoint and a physical standpoint, that will allow you to show up and show out in style. Then from there, we begin building on understanding the different types of characteristics: heroes, villains, romancers, seducers, all those different types of elements that begin constructing style, that have influence on color, on tonality, on the textures that you are going to then be putting out. And then you can begin cultivating a curated type of look. See, so many guys think that they got to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on different types of pieces. But what you're essentially looking to do is to curate something that is going to consistently reflect who you are in different types of situations. When you have done that, you create a collection. See, my OG used to tell me that real men don't buy clothes, they own them. It's really about the time that you have had with it, the stories that have been associated with the clothes that you wear, that create that true characteristic, that really create that narrative and that energy that people want to bond with. And lastly, from the last element of that is the life in style that the clothing tends to evoke. It's going to change the type of people that you interact with, because you're going to start realizing that these people are the co-characters in your stories. You're going to start wanting to make sure that you're setting a scene for when you are telling your story, so that when you create that memory, when you go back and tell that story to somebody else or somebody experiences it, everything seems to coalesce together. It all seems to be consistent and to make sense. And then ultimately, even when it comes to your love stories, to those antagonist stories, to the stories, of battle, you'll be prepared with the proper armament to make sure that you are stepping in, penetrating the life, and leaving that lasting impact. So I want you to try that on, as always, see how it fits you. And if that is going to fit you well, then I look forward to building with you. So you can find me here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. And please bear in mind, I'm still learning to tell my own story. I'm still learning and cultivating my own narrative. And I want to make sure that I'm taking that journey with you. And that's why I say I look forward to building with you, not looking forward to helping you build, but so that we can build together. So please make sure that you leave any questions, any comments, any concerns, any criticisms down in the comment section, and make sure that you reach out to me at stylearchitects@gmail.com, or you can go to stylearchitects.com and you can schedule a one-on-one with me so that we can figure out if we can work together. And until then, don't ever forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind. So yes, you should always dress for success. I'll see you next time. Peace.